Wake up, girl. That's it.
When I was at Oakland Unified and I came here, like in Oakland Unified, it was pretty well. I was doing well. It was easy to do stuff. But here, you used to get loads and loads of work.
20 seconds. No.
So it's a struggle to do it. You gotta stay up late, get your stuff done, then you may have to study for a test that's happening the next day. We have a math test every Friday, so every week there's a test that you have to do.
Let's go. Get it back to me.
But if you want to think on the bright side, every week is a day to boost your grade up in math.
So when I become a scientist, I want to be a biologist and chemistry scientist, and I want to cure cancer, and maybe after that, cure some more stuff.
Oh, I think Neranti's amazing. I coached track. I was an assistant coach for his track team, and that's how I first came to know him. I think I knew him for probably 2 years before he came here, and so we had a relationship already. He and I did.
On the board, who's gonna do it? Me.
He would push any educator, and I think as an educator, you absolutely want that. You want a kid who comes in and who's absolutely certain about what he wants. He has a very strong thirst to learn. And that occurs in every single classroom. It's not, he'll sometimes talk about computer technology or maybe his math, but you see that sense of that desire to do his very best occurs, doesn't matter what it is. When his family came here, it was a perfect connection.
Coming to Ile Omode, I think what was important, that he really found a place where he can call his own. Neranti's name is very significant. It is inspired by the Kemetic tradition. And so every time he hears his name, it is a personal mantra to remind him of his purpose. And so coming to Ile Omode, there's students here that have names that have those same kinds of significance.
This is an African-centered school, so you're always being immersed in African culture, religion. It's pretty small classes, and that means that each teacher will be able to help each individual person more often.
He started growing his afro at Piedmont. It just kind of solidified the fact that he was proud about his color and who he was. And so being here, it just kind of really expanded that appreciation for his culture. Being around other children that look like him helped him really build a good, strong foundation.
And I think definitely the importance of AAMA was that he got a sense of brotherhood.
If you don't practice well, then you're not going to run well. Does that make sense, ladies and gentlemen?
Yes, Coach.
And really understanding that you are your brother's keeper and that you don't have to be a part of the stereotype, but ultimately that really manifesting that brotherhood is essential to your individual growth.
Something hard that I've has to do with this is more like in school, is me talking, because I always talk in class, and I usually get in trouble for that.
He oftentimes doesn't believe in his own ability to solve his own stuff. And so
Find out.
if I let him, he would ask me questions every 5 minutes. And so there are many times where I push him away. And in ways I wouldn't push another kid away. Other kids, if I want them to think a little further, I'll give them some guidance. Like, I want you to think about this particular piece, and analyze it from this angle, and take a different perspective. And sometimes with him, and he'll, nah, go think about it some more.
Go ahead, man, walk us through.
Okay, so we make a new function, but if statement if this variable equals this value, jazz band, then turn the units.
You know, for the academic side, the piece for him is to be able to understand your own strength and being able to think through a thing without having that constant assistance all the time that you don't need, but you got to believe in yourself.
Dance, change it to preview.
Any questions?
No.
You know, we believe very much that you have to dig and help other people out. And so, you know, our space is one that is a very open, collaborative space. It's culturally rooted, so it's not just, oh, I got an A in my class. You know, one of our discussions in that A+ conversation was, I should get an A+ because I did more than the assignment called for. Well, that's fantastic. But did you help anybody out? And so now we begin to shift the expectations, not just about you, but it's about the entire classroom. The fact that there is this special unit within a public school system, not just the school, but in the system that is focused exclusively and without compromise on helping our black boys is absolutely amazing. And because we're in a space that we own, that we can take all of the other things that kind of weigh us down, the baggage that black folks tend to carry, fighting against the system, fighting against this teacher doesn't understand my child, fighting against a curriculum that doesn't feed our children. All that baggage is thrown to the side. We can focus our energy and our attention solely on promoting and raising up our youth. We're to rewind 2 decades ago to think that would be possible, to fight through to say that we want to do something and just serve young black men. Well, what about everybody else? That'd be the question would come up, and to be able to fight through those questions and produce this space for not only boys to have their own space, but to bring black men to serve them.
So our boys are not pit bulls. They don't have an instinct to chase, but they do have a defensive hurt nature. Right. That you coming at them like they did something or like they're going to do something. I was involved in a credentialing program many, many years ago, and by and large, the majority of people in those credential programs tend to be white females. There's a lot of structural reasons why black men don't pursue credentials. There's sometimes a lower pay they may have to earn. Sometimes they have to quit working to pursue a credential. It's hard to do if you have responsibility for a family. So it's hard to get the black men in the school. But there's so many black men who want to teach. And so for Chris Chapman to tap into this vast network of black men who are ready to go in Oakland and surrounding areas.
You should know who your king is, representing your school.
And bring them to the school. Again, without compromise, and not speak to, well, we need to have a diverse staff facing these black boys is absolutely revolutionary.
Well, one of the kings I'd love to acknowledge is Neranti, a young brother that actually he was one of our youngest ever Student Leadership Council participants as he was attending Piedmont Avenue Elementary School. And this young king is just a life force. This young brother, as early as 4th grade, was asking questions in his elementary school classes that a lot of kings just didn't necessarily may have the schema or the awareness and insight that this young king possessed at that time. That enthusiasm for life and wanting to learn about not just his history, but how we as a Student Leadership Council can improve and grow together. And so Neranti is just a brilliant young man that at some point I look forward to working for someday.
I still want to be a chemist and maybe something in the computer technology. And Ile Omode, our teacher, Baba Jai, he has really helped us with computer technology. He's taught us many different coding languages, and as well with their expectations for us and the discipline to be able to do the things.
We're going to pause right here. I'm going to have a few folks go downstairs.
And I feel perfectly fine at this school.
It's coming out. If not, don't trust me. I have another one.
Everybody knows each other, and many friends are here. The teachers are here, and they help us to progress in life.
You caught someone?
We're basically just a big family.
Good job, buddy.
Who are you?
I'm a king, and you?
A kingmaker, the AAMA way, live in the Bay.
Welcome to our world, come see what's good.
It's deeper than a class, it's really a brotherhood. Who are you?
I'm a king, and you?
A kingmaker, the AAMA way, live in the Bay.
Welcome to our world, come see what's good.
It's deeper than a class, it's really a brotherhood.